The clerk for the Supreme Judicial Court for Suffolk County is an important role. This is the clerk that serves our state's highest court and the people who rely on that court like you and me. Why is it important to have an attorney in this role? Well, it's important for several reasons. Number one, this clerk oversees a lot having to do with the legal profession itself. This clerk swears in new attorneys, helps the court to conduct attorney disciplinary hearings, has to certify student attorneys under Rule 303, has to also certify new attorneys to this jurisdiction who are coming from other states and don't yet have their full licensing. This clerk has to oversee all of those things, but most importantly, this clerk has to run the single justice session. That's an emergency appeals session, and it's very important and critical when you are in the middle of a trial or a significant hearing. This clerk has to, not only once this clerk gets the petition, this clerk has to screen that petition and make sure that it is appropriately before the court. And then this clerk has to assemble the entire record and put it in front of one of the justices. They rotate taking these cases. They have to believe that when they're getting a case, they have the entire record and that they have everything they need in order to make their decision. So it is important to have a clerk who has an understanding of the law, has training in the law, and can make those decisions on behalf of the court. This is also important because there's another clerk who serves the court, and that clerk is known as the clerk for the Commonwealth. Recently, that position was vacant, and that position is appointed by the SJC itself. Well, that clerk handles the court's regular docket. So when things go through the process of regular appeals and whatnot, they have to go through that clerk. And what the SJC was looking for in that clerk, you had to have a minimum of 10 years experience as a practicing attorney, and you had to have progressive managerial experience. I have all of that and more. Mm-hmm. I currently oversee a staff of 75 people that include attorneys, investigators, social service advocates, administrative support team, and that's important. And I don't believe that in fact, I know that my opponent does not bring these particular skills into this job, or would, and therefore, that is why you should vote for me. I am the only qualified candidate in this race, and I stand by that, and so should you.
And I do hear that people say that you are more progressive and Erin Murphy is more conservative. Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, I won't speak to her. I will speak to me. Yes, I am a progressive candidate. I believe in the progressive movement. We are looking at things. When changes need to be made, we're not afraid to stand up, stand bold, and to make those changes. And overall, I think that's what's going to make us a better society. It makes for better communities. It makes for a better country. So I am a proud progressive. Here's what I would say to conservatives. Most of the conservatives that I know do believe in people being qualified for their positions. So to them, I say, I'm also your candidate. I am qualified for this job. And as an attorney who has taken an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States as well as the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I know going into office, once I assume office, I am no longer a political being. I have to set aside all of that and be fair, neutral, impartial, ethical, professional. And that is what I am, and that's what I will be as your next clerk of the Supreme Judicial Court for Suffolk County.
Hi. Sure. Hi everyone, I'm Erin Murphy, Boston City Councilor here. At large, I represent all the neighborhoods in the city of Boston, and I'm out here on Labor Day supporting the hotel workers, Local 26, in their strike for fair wages. I'm running for a new position, Clerk of the Supreme Judicial Court, which is an administrative job. It's been held for 36 years by Mara Doyle. In my background, business management degree, I was a classroom teacher and a special ed coordinator for many years in the Boston Teachers Union. And I have been a counselor, obviously citywide legislator in the city of Boston. So I'm asking everyone to get out and vote. This is a great job. I know my skill set, my life experience has really put me in a position that this would be a great position for me to lead and make sure that when the court system, just like City Hall and just like my office, everyone knows that they're welcome, that I'm going to listen to them, and that I'm going to put the same work ethic that I've put in my whole life as a classroom teacher and also on the council. You see me out every day working hard and listening to the residents of the city of Boston. This is a county-wide race, so I've met new friends in Chelsea, Winthrop, and Revere, but I'm really getting the message out that I'm the candidate that they can trust and that I'll show up for them and that I'm accessible.
Why this position is important?
Very important that the clerk helps the judges. Important cases go through the Supreme Judicial Court. It's no legal work at all. It's going to be all administrative. You're the keeper of the dockets. So you work with your small office of 14 staff that just help make sure all of the paperwork and the dockets get filed correctly so that those who come and want to file a complaint in front of the court, and when the judges have cases, that they have all the tools they need. Something I did as a special ed coordinator, when you run the meetings for students who need IEP special ed services, you're the person who just makes sure everyone is set up for success and you have the tools and that you show up, and if someone can't be there, you step in. Always someone who rolls up my sleeves and does the work.
So you are saying this position actually has no right in judging the cases?
Absolutely not. No, not one at all. The judges do not ask any clerk for their legal opinion ever. That would be against the law. I know that people are trying to act like this position should be filled by an attorney. They're changing the job description to fit their qualifications, but in no way will any legal work be done. You're working alongside lawyers, but that would be the opinion that only classroom teachers belong in schools. If we don't have the secretaries and the bus drivers and the social workers, or only doctors are allowed in hospitals. Without the speech therapists and the administrators, hospitals would close. So it's important, every profession, right? All the restaurants, if only the chefs came to work, there'd be no one to serve the patrons. So it's important that people don't get fooled by that message that this position, that I'm somehow not qualified. I am more than qualified. And I know that my time and my integrity and my work ethic that people have seen, it's been very public these last few years on the council, and I'll continue to, show up and work. So thank you.
And we know that the people, the voters, some people support her, and some people support you because that they think you are more conservative and she's more progressive.
Which isn't true. I'm a single mom, a school teacher. I'm a renter. My kids are being unable to stay and afford in the city. And if you look at the causes that I've championed as a person, and then as a community advocate, and now on the council, I was the first elected official at 6:30 this morning, happily being here to be on this picket line. I've been on tens of thousands, so many picket lines throughout my time on the council, because I don't just say that I care about workers and their rights. I show up, and I've made some tough decisions, right? I've made some votes on the council where I always make sure that the labor voice is heard. There's nothing conservative about me at all. No.